some peace of mind. But TikTok said a gator drove a Jeep through the blinds. Florida man's at it again with fireworks and a goat. And someone married a ghost in a Dollar Tree coat. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is going on? Aliens dancing in a Waffle House song. Karen's got a taser in the checkout line. And Dr. Oz just adopted birds to fight off crime. I'm just sitting here scrolling my jaw on the floor. The internet's a circus and I can't take no more. Yeah, when it's wildin', there's a raccoon in the sink. Someone robbed a Wendy's just to steal a frosty drink. A pastor's gone viral yelling about the end is near, while folks ride hoverboards and wedding gear. Yeah, what in the Walmart rapture is this mess? Florida's a movie, but it's filmed in VHS. Someone fed meth to a squirrel named Dave, and now he's in a cage just throwing rave. I'm just
Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday. Thanks for dealing with my day off. I definitely needed one, but you guys, oh my Bob Ross, my new Zen garden with when I get a super chat, they're little notes and they're from a flaming dumpster fire. Look, they say money can't buy happiness, but for $24 you can get a Zen dumpster fire garden on Amazon. So I'm not saying that it will, keep you sane in this timeline because boy, do we have headlines for you guys today. Holy. Now, in all honesty, I'm probably going to have to put resin in it and settle it because it was one of the smaller ones, and it's kind of overfull, and I'm guessing between youngest, most feral, and cats, it will be destroyed. So, thank you so much. Tammy, I was trying to use my new curlers, and I ended up looking like I have basically, I didn't think about the curl pattern, and it was nuts, so I just decided to pin it all up and go with a retro look. So, we've got news. I promised news, and holy crabapple, do we have some news, y'all. Well, the man formerly known as Prince of Windsor, I believe. Look, I'm not a royalologist, uh, but it does seem that the former Prince Andrew has been arrested. Now, there looks like there could possibly be charges coming in for Sarah Ferguson, and these are, at least he has been, taken in for questioning. Again, the kind of rules for being arrested and detained are a lot different in the UK, so I would recommend going to UK content creators. I'm guessing Black Belt Barrister will have something on this if you want to know more about it, because I will be very candid. I'm not a royalologist. I'm not a UK, lawologist. So while this is big news, I won't be able to kind of give you any more than what the article tells me. So I do encourage you to go look at, UK news, UK content creators, uh, just, to get a more fulsome idea of what is going on from people who actually know things more than I do. Now, questions are mounting. Oh, this is the wrong one. Now, because Andrew has been arrested, there have been questions as to whether or not Sarah Ferguson will be arrested. That was my next article. But ex-Prince Andrew has been arrested by the UK police over Epstein-linked allegations. Now, these are allegations of corruption of a public official. There are allegations that while Prince Andrew was I think, an economic envoy or something like that. Again, not too clear on UK stuff other than I binge UK news. But it does appear that there were some shenanigans and he might have leaked information to Epstein prior to some big financial moves that were going to be very important for financial planners. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was arrested Thursday on suspicion of misconduct in public office after he allegedly forwarded trade documents to, well, Jeffrey Epstein. Now, if convicted on this charge, he faces a maximum sentence of life in prison. Now, British cops were seen on Sandringham Estate on Thursday morning, which is actually former Prince Andrew's 66th birthday. 6 unmarked police cars, and 8 plainclothes officers arrived at Wood Farm in Eastern England earlier on Thursday. So this is breaking. Um, Interesting. I don't know what we'll see coming forward. Again, the rules of engagement as far as what the police are allowed to do, detainment, and things like that are a bit different there. There will also be differences in reporting, so do keep in mind that if this is going to go to trial, there will be things that, media will not be allowed to report on just because of reporting practices and protecting a possible jury or bench trial. Now, one officer was seen carrying a police-issued laptop after arriving at the house at about 8 a.m. local time or 3 a.m., our time over here. Uh, that a particular police officer car of the 8 cars that were there did leave around 30 minutes later. Now, another police car and vehicle thought to contain Andrew's security team also left at that time as well. Now, Andrew does remain in custody at Thames Valley Police. Now, they say that the patrol does, at least Thames Valley does cover the former home where he used to live, so the Royal Lodge, and is also carrying out the search in the Berkshire property. So, again, there are a lot of things that are going to be different because it's in the UK, but this is going to be big international news, and it's kind of the first domino we've seen in any area, where actual public an actual offense, someone's actually been arrested. Now, it does seems interesting that, oh, gosh, the ambassador who had the ties with Epstein hasn't been arrested yet as well. I do know that his home has been searched, but Mendelsohn, but, it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this. I do think that, again, listening to UK news, there is a lot of talk that the monarchy is very, very unfavorable and at the moment, and this might be the death knell for the monarchy or at least their official standing. Again, don't know enough about it to know about it, but can we just do what the world wants and put Harry or not Harry, God, not Harry, good lord. Can we put, oh, for the love of giblets, why am I am blanking on the good one's name. William. Can we just put William and make him king like everyone wants? Look, they're probably human, they probably have their weird things too. I I don't care, but they look nice, they seem like normal-ish people. How about we let them be, king and queen and just call this a mulligan? I'm just saying, we give us an indulgence and we just pretend this ish didn't happen. So that will be interesting. Now, the next article on does talk about, or that I did have up, did talk about how Sarah Ferguson has been linked very intimately to Epstein as well. So I do wonder if this is, again, just one of the first people to go down and whether more arrests will be forthcoming or not. Now, in other sad news, for reasons known only to the tour company, apparently a tour company out of California decided around Lake Tahoe area decided to take skiers out on a hike during a snowstorm, and unfortunately, they got caught in an avalanche. Now, there have been searches going on, and I wanted to wait to bring this up until there was actually confirmation about what happened to that tour, but unfortunately, the news has come back that they did not survive, and with one of the skiers still gone. Now, 8 people have been confirmed to have passed away, with one more skier still missing after a horrific avalanche that happened just outside Lake Tahoe. Now, Nevada County Sheriff Shannon Moon has provided a grim update on Wednesday, just 24 hours after the avalanche was first reported. Now, Moon stated that 4 travel guides and 11 guests were caught in the avalanche. Among the 15, 6 had been rescued. Among them, 1 man and 5 women aged 30 to 55. Now, Moon said the 8 remaining of the 9 were confirmed to have passed away, with 1 person still missing. So, do expect updates if there is any thawing or melting. And unfortunately for the family of that 1 person who is still missing, it might be a while until it thaws enough that they can do a good search. So, my heart goes out to the families affected. Now, rescuers that are searching for the final skier are dealing with highly dangerous condition, with more snow expected and avalanche warnings remaining in effect. Now, the tour group initially contained 12 clients and 4 guides, but 1 client decided to back out of the trip at the last minute. An avalanche on Tuesday trapped 15 skiers who were part of a 3-day expedition led by Blackbird Mountain Guides. Now, rescuers were able to save 6 of the people after they set off emergency beacons. Now, 6 hid under tarps as they awaited rescue late on Tuesday, but are now off the mountain. Now, Sheriff had said that 6 were found after they corresponded with first responders using the iPhone's SOS feature, and 2 of the skiers needed to be hospitalized. Now, rescuers were searching for the other 9 missing skiers and were hamstrung in their search efforts on Wednesday morning after the area was slammed with nearly 2 additional feet of snow. So, while there are no signs of rescue activity at the Boreal Castle Peak trailhead where the avalanche struck around Tuesday, 11:30 a.m. So, again, do excuse me, do be aware that we are probably gonna get, unfortunately, some more sad updates, and I do hope that the first responders and rescuers are taking care and being safe themselves. I know for the families, it's probably, not an easy thing to know that there are rescuers, know that there are people there, but it's not safe for them to go out to look for their family members, so I can't imagine how that would be, so I do hope that they are getting the love and support that they need to get through this. Now, in really scary news, and look, I know there are going to be a lot of political takes, and I don't have look, I have my own hot take, but I think that this is incredibly sad and scary, and I don't think that this should be used this way. If I shouldn't it shouldn't be a political take to say that if you suffer from seasonal affective disorder or you get a little sad during winter, it shouldn't be a reason that medical people should encourage you to end your own life. I I see this as gravely evil, and the fact that because I think you could make an argument. Here's the problem, it's just like justice reform. You can sell me, a person who thinks that this is a grave moral conundrum. Do people have the right to end their lives with dignity if they're dealing with a chronic or degenerative issue? You could sell me on that. Letting someone, you know, look at ending their own life because they get sad in the winter, no. Grieving parents are demanding changes after their son, 26 years old, ended his own life under a controversial Canadian law. Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys I'm a doctorologist, I'm a Canadian expertologist or anything, but wrong is wrong. And this is wrong, especially when the family isn't, it is blindsided by this. This cannot happen. And look, every individual case is gonna have an individual story, but these parents are left behind, and the doctors encourage this. How is this not evil? How is this not a betrayal of your Hippocratic oath to cause no harm? The grieving parents of a 26-year-old man are speaking out against Canada's medical assisted in dying, or MAID, laws, now arguing that the system failed to protect their vulnerable son from shuffling, basically self-deleting, despite a history of mental illness. Now, Keanu Vivasan, I have probably really messed this one up. Celestial Force, I haven't read through. So generally, I read through the articles with you guys. I look at the headlines. Um, so I will be learning with you guys. I just saw this and it made me so freaking flapjack mad because look, I get it. I get being in a dark place. I get all of the things. I do. But this is breaking families. I don't get it. This is not supposed ending suffering is one thing. This is leading to devastation. Now, he was euthanized on December 30th, 2025 in British Columbia. Now, his family said that he had been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at the age of around 4 and had been struggling with his mental health after a car accident at 17. Now, his mother, Margaret Masella of Ontario, said his depression was often seasonal, yet he became obsessed with MAID after losing vision in one of his eyes in 2022. He kept on emphasizing how he could get approved. The mother said to Fox News. So again, do be aware that while I wish these things could be unpolitical, there is going to be a political bent on this. Obviously, there is going to be a divide at which you think this is A-okay or not. I don't think it should have political connotations. I think we shouldn't let people who are depressed make permanent decisions, but there you go. So if this is where I get political, okay, I am sorry, but this is just a terribly sad story. We never thought there would be a chance that any doctor would approve a 22 or 23-year-old at that time for MAID because of diabetes or blindness. And, talk to your own doctor. If you're feeling blue, if you're feeling dark, please talk to someone. Look, I get it. We all struggle with tough things. And just because my tough is different than your tough doesn't mean your tough isn't tough. So if you need to reach out, please reach out. Now, MAID was legalized in Canada in June 2016, and the law allows patients with grievous and basically unremediable medical conditions to request to either have a physician or themselves end their lives. Now, in 2022, after a Toronto doctor initially approved his request, the family launched a public pressure campaign on social media to voice their opposition. The outcry led that doctor to withdraw approval, but their son was initially angry, and his family said that he showed signs of improvement, though, in that following year, even moving in with them in 2024, seeming to, at least do a little better. He tried his best when he was in one of those good highs of life, his mother said. Then winter and fall started coming around and he started changing. Then everything that we'd worked on from the spring and summer just disappeared, and he would start talking about MAID again. Now, the family said that their son was rejected by multiple doctors in Ontario before he sought out Dr. Ellen Wiebe, a prominent MAID provider in British Columbia. Now, Marcella believes that Weeb's coached her son on what to say to meet the criteria for track 2 patients, those whose natural deaths are not reasonably imminent. So again, track 2 should not be a thing. I'm sorry. Look, I get it. No. Track 2, no. Canada, what the hell? We believe that she was coaching him on how to deteriorate his body and what she can possibly approve him for and what she can get away with approving him for. Because if he had spoken back in 2024 and he was a good candidate for approving this, she would have done it right then, and she didn't. Now, his parents say they were not notified of the approval and only learned of his passing days after it occurred. He noted his medical records did not substantiate The severe peripheral neuropathy listed on his death certificate as a qualifying factor. The whole process came as a shock to us, said, Joseph Capera, his stepfather. In 2021, eligibility for MAID was expanded to include applicants with grievous or and untreatable conditions whose death were not reasonably foreseeable. Now, the family is advocating for the repeal of this Track 2 provision and the passage of Bill C 218, a legislative effort to restrict MAID for patients whose underlying issues are solely mental illness based. This is just terribly sad. It shouldn't be happening. And Track 2 is a slippery slope. It is not far away from the kind of comedy dystopia of Futurama and the unaliving booths. And I never thought I would see this, but this is terrifying. And my heart goes out to this family. My heart goes out to the families who don't have stories written out about them, who don't have the, spotlight of the New York Post telling their story. I can't imagine. And how can we call ourselves modern societies? I, I just, this breaks my heart. Anyway, I do hope Canada does repeal these laws. Now, whether or not that will come to fruition, as that said, it doesn't seem that Canada is moving any right now, according to the rest of that. Now, in a statement to Fox News, to give you at least the other side, Dr. Weeb did speak out and say, like my colleagues, every patient I approve for Track 2 has unbearable suffering from grievous and unremediable medical conditions, not psychiatric, with advanced state of decline in capability, and consents to made fully informed about treatments to reduce the suffering. Now, again, I don't that sounds like corporate speak, but in all fairness, I did want to, since they included her statement, put it out there. Do I trust a word that she says? Not exactly. But this is quite dark, quite evil, and of all the things that slacktivists want to get upset about, you would think that this would be something they would be just absolutely upset about, but not really. Now, as a palate cleanser, because good night nurse, do we need a palate cleanser? Where is it? Well, I still don't understand what curling is, but the meme gods have taken it over, and the curling controversy or controversy, and thank you so much, Exile, the Knights of Malta now, and you get the first flame super chat. I'm so excited. Oh, I probably shouldn't pick orange ink since I need to be able to see it and read it. Green. Thank you so much. The first flame. Poor Canada. I'm sorry. I went from one article where I was bashing you to the next. Look, I will do a pro Canada segment at some point. When you guys do good, I will say good. Now, as we all know, no one understands what curling is, least of all me, but apparently the Canadians allegedly sort of cheated. This might be my favorite, just the tip. Who did this? I will say he is flexible. I mean, I couldn't do the split squats like that. Okay, I would boop a puppy beyond the line, not gonna lie. Who did this? Who did this? And apparently the women are doing it now too. Canadians, stop fingering things badly. Oh, I didn't realize that I probably shouldn't say Canadians stop fingering things. Okay, the ET was pretty good. Oh, my Bob Ross. Okay, we needed that. We definitely did. Now, I do know that we are all kind of very, very still reeling from the jury verdict in the Faust trial, but there is another Georgia trial that I I am shocking myself to say that I was actually listening to the opening statements, and I think, when I pull it up, so the trial for the father of the alleged Winder, Georgia school, bad guy actually started, and I watched the opening statements, which I didn't think I was actually going to like because of the Uvalde, trial and it being so close, and I don't know that we're gonna cover it on the trial right now. Well, we can put it to a vote. I know people, I just very much was impressed with the opening statement for both the lawyers, and it was actually, I thought, a very compelling argument on both sides. So, as much as I know we are on the Faust, one no, and no, we're not watching that. Uh, that being said, I did find it to be an interesting one. So I will say that it will be an interesting one, and will we see more of this in smaller cases? So what I mean by that, are we going to see uh, parental accountability filter down to, misdemeanors, to public disorder? I know there are some localities that are floating these ideas. Is this something we're going to see trickle down? I don't know. That will be interesting. And I I am of 2 minds on this. I feel like some parents really, really do abdicate, seem to let their kids run wild, and if they abdicate their parental responsibility, should we be able to hold them accountable like we do with fathers or mothers that have to pay child support? Is that what we're going to be moving toward, a co-parenting thing with the government? And every time you give the government more power to intercede in your life, you are giving them the power to screw with people who don't need to be screwed with. So is there a way to make people responsible for for the children they have, apart from making, having children a license thing? Because y'all, I can tell you with my first kid, like up to and until I was pushing her out, I wouldn't have qualified to be a parent. I was selfish, I was self-centered. I thought I was a smart, as smart as you can be at 22 years old. I thought I was a smart, working, intelligent, reliable person, but I was irresponsible, selfish, had no idea until they put that baby in my hands and I was like, "Oh crap, you are my first priority." Nothing is about me anymore. And maybe that doesn't happen for everyone. I don't know how it doesn't, but maybe it doesn't. And how do we deal with that apart from making, like I said, making it a licensable thing to have children? I don't know. But we do have some what in the Walmart Rapture headlines to at least be a palate cleanser because sometimes the headlines are just, well, no fun. So I dig deep and find, well, the weird hiding under the headlines. So let's see what is going on in the wild, wacky world of, well, final form Jesus headlines.
The G-Keep Grove, thou glowing shrine of thirst traps, scams, and dollar signs. We chant in tones both grim and low, for virtue fled a long time ago. Kyrie eleison, Christe descendat, Final form Jesus return in wrath, with six-pack glistening sword in hand, he cometh swift to cleanse the land.
Well, it's finally safe to boink back at the Olympics. Even if you didn't get the gold, you can at least go away without the clap. They're back. Olympic condom supply has been restocked for the horny athletes, the bedroom Olympics. After 10,000 were snapped up in just 3 days. I mean, that's a lot of optimism, but they do more cardio than me, so maybe there's something there's a correlation. Love is back in the air at the Winter Olympics. At the Olympic Village in Milano Cortina, a supply of about 10,000 free condoms for competing athletes was quickly, well, gone through in just 3 days, but now they have been restocked. More condoms were provided to athletes at the beginning of this week. A spokesperson for the Olympics Organizing Committee and International Olympic Committee confirmed on, uh, Good Morning America, as you do. The rubber restocking comes out after Italian outlet had reported the shortage in the villas due to, in the words of the IOC, higher than anticipated demand. Shows that Valentine's Day is in full swing at the village. I don't think I can add much more to that, IOC spokesperson Mark Adams told reporters of the, condom shortage. Now it's unclear exactly how many more condoms will be brought to the village. What the I know. Don't give them condoms. Can you imagine the race of superhumans we would get if we let them all intermix? Like, we could have people that could do quintuple jumps. We could get the curlers with the hockey players, and then you could do the splits and push the people are not thinking about this correctly. I'm telling you, we should have we should have all the super athletes get together, make super athletic babies. You know, contrary to as a non-athletic person, here I thought you'd be at the Olympics, like, training and, I don't know, doing your routine in your spandex. Look, if I were gonna be in the Olympics, it'd be figure skating, though me on ice is just a terrible idea. But if I had athletic ability, I'm just well, what I really wanted to be was in ice castles with Robbie Benson. Again, at the time, 9 years old and 26-year-old Robbie Benson was not appropriate, but now, yes, ice castles with Robbie Benson. Anywho, look, don't make fun of my dream. Through the eyes of love, I swear to goodness. Anywho, look, I saw that movie and I thought, if a blind girl could ice skate, I could ice skate. I just didn't realize the very clear plot point that she could actually ice skate prior to her blindness. Just thought it was maybe like a God thing, like if God took away so I figured I didn't have the ability to spell, so that was my disability. Let's just say I didn't ice skate ever again. I definitely thought I was gonna be like Michelle Kwan, and I was not. My poor mother, my poor wonderfully talented athletic mother got stuck with me. I am so glad she had my little sister. This sounds daft. I know the film you watched, and I can't remember the title either. I think it was Ice Castles, but I could be wrong. Anywho, my poor mother had me, this, like, inside cat, non-athletic. She's like, "Be competitive," and I'm like, "Why? It's soccer. What are we gonna do if I win or lose?" And she's like, "Just get in the game." And I'm like, "I'm in the game. I'm actually here. I'm on the field in the game. So, I love my mom because she loved me, but I am glad she got my sister who was actually athletic so she could have, like, her daughter to do that kinda stuff. Because Lord knows she got me and she probably thought like, "Ooh, girl, we can do, like, girl stuff." And then I was like, "Have you ever thought about if dragons were real, what kind of language they would have?" I made up my own dragon language. I remember bless my mother, like, youngest most feral had nothing on me as a child. I remember, y'all, I spent 2 hours explaining how I created my own dragon language, and I'm still alive, so my mother is a saint. But there you go, the things that my mom had to deal with me. Well, beer pong injury. Hey, at least it isn't an insertion injury because, I'm sure the ER doctor is more excited for the beer pong injury story. Well, a 19-year-old's bizarre beer pong injury required surgery to fix. Well, talk about a sore loser. For one player, a game of beer pong went terribly awry. A 19-year-old man was brought to the hospital with acute throat pain, difficulty swallowing, and abnormal breathing following a round of the popular drinking. Did he swallow the ping pong? Don't swallow the ping pong. You're supposed to juggle them lightly in your hands. I'll see myself out. Now, the initial exam showed that the back of the patient's throat was inflamed, and a subsequent x ray revealed what appeared to be a bottle cap. A bottle cap? Who the hell plays beer pong with a bottle cap? Also, who the hell what 19-year-old has enough money to buy screw top beer? That you should be living off. First of all, you're 19. That should have been Natty Ice. You pay $7 and you can get 72 cans. I reject this. Where the hell is this kid playing beer pong that he has twist off caps? Must be that's dad's microbrew. He's gonna be in more trouble that he stole his dad's beer. Now, the cap had fallen into the patient's red Solo cup during a, well, drinking contest, and he had unknowingly swallowed it for about an hour. Even though he had a stable airway, doctors had to use surgical intervention to remove the bottle cap due to the potential for, possible perforation. Well, he should keep that because if we go the way of fallout, which seems fairly relevant here lately, that bottle cap might be worth some money. The unfortunate young man underwent surgery, emergency rigid or esophoscopy, in which a thin tube with a camera is inserted through the nose or mouth without complication. Now, if the patient was lucky because in most cases of accidental aspiration, the foreign objects lodge themselves in the trachea and they do jeopardize breathing. Now, ENT doctors routinely treat indigestion of foreign bodies, the effects of which can range from discomfort to death. So, yeah, be sure that you, I don't know, check your cups before you swallow freaking caps. Darn children. Don't be dumb. Well, in a damaging blow to Chick-fil-A's everywhere, but it won't stop me because they make a damn good chicken sandwich. We have been lied to yet again. Chicken might not be healthier than beef. Well, not with all the stuff, not with all the roids we, pump it with. Red meat has long been blamed for raising blood sugar and diabetes, while chicken is widely seen as a healthier option, but a new study challenges that age-old advice. Come on, bacon is healthy. Come on, bacon is healthy. Researchers at Indiana University School of Public Health, Bloomington. Okay, well, it does come out of the Bloomington campus, and I would like you to remind you all that I call Bloomington the San Francisco of Indiana. So, again, nothing good or bad about it, except that you are likely to see people on electric scooters, um, with my complexion with dreadlocks in the middle of rural Indiana, and they don't pay attention. Look, I have really no problem with Bloomington except for they have an infestation, a literal plague, hear me out, of these GD electric scooters. Now, sounds like a great idea. Get people out, not using cars, short journeys, electric scooters. Good idea. Great idea. Save the universe, save the environment, until those scooters are mainly piloted by high assholes with dreadlocks not paying attention who just like to go into the street. So maybe I'm a little salty with Bloomington, but maybe I have a point because I have reached the time in my life where I'm in the Red Foreman to Wanda stage of my life. So I would kindly like you to look the hell around as I'm in my freaking 10 passenger red giant Ford Transit as you know, Shaggy from Scooby Doo decide to just drive your little electrical scooter into the middle of the street. Or kindly share whatever gummies you're on, so I will not be stressed out about possibly running your non-paying attention behind over. Yes, this has happened many times when I've gone to Bloomington. My husband asks me all the time, "Why don't you just go to Bloomington?" And I'm like, "No, I will go where I know things." I refuse. Thank you for indulging me in this detour of why I hate electric scooters when they are piloted by high people. Now, according to the University, of Indiana at Bloomington, it does show that the common dietary recommendation for people with prediabetes, that they tested, they found that blood sugar levels, insulin sensitivity, cholesterol, and inflammation markers didn't change in any meaningful way when participants ate lean beef versus chicken, according to the research. Now, that was published in Current Developments in Nutrition in December. Now, this was a very, very small study, though. They only followed 24 adults with prediabetes. About 70% of those patients were male, and they ate either unprocessed beef or chicken every day for 4 weeks, then switched. Now they incorporated the meals, including burgers, fajitas, burritos, stews, and stir fries into their regular diets. And after the month, the researchers then tested their blood levels, insulin response, and how well the pancreas, the organ that does control the insulin levels in your body, was working. So it doesn't seem, again, this is a very small study, so they would need to do a lot more before any doctor is going to tell you that it doesn't matter lean beef or chicken. But it is an interesting finding and does kind of show that a lot of age-old wisdom that we're given in medical, fields isn't really researched yet, or at least the science isn't always known. Now, that being said, am I telling you to eat a full tomahawk steak every night and wash it down with a can of Spam? No, I am not. Talk to your doctorologist. I am a hot mess priestess. I am your guru of the okayisness. I do not give you medical advice. I barely have my own medical advice online. So, interesting interesting, information, very small study. So keep that in mind. Now we come to the portion I love, the palate cleanser of awesomeness, the clips I have found of what in the shenanigans. Now where did it go? Okay. No, it should be, and here we are. The first one, news bloopers. Basically, my entire show, let's be real, y'all. My goal was to be more professional-ish this year. I don't know if it's happening.
Which the 1942 Heisman Trophy winner from Georgia died early today at his Athens home. He was 70 degrees. Sinkowitz was the first Georgia Bulldog ever to win that coveted trophy.
Watching WDAY First News, your news leader.
Gun safety advocates of the National Rifle Association squared off before Congress as lawmakers hear both sides of the gun control debate.
Still to come tonight, a candidate for governor offers his solution to property tax relief in North Dakota.
Another store is about to open in downtown Fargo.
So many different ways to get the content of math or any subject for that matter to the students now.
A Storm Tracker 7-day forecast. You can see we will see a few scattered snow showers again on Saturday, and the temperatures definitely trending colder as we head into the rest of the forecast.
Well, Fargo will be getting a Chipotle soon, but it may be missing one thing.
Ooh, and I'm counting down the days. I love these types of food.
Here's Jane King with your Bloomberg Business Report. And we will go to... All right.
Hang on a second. Bless me. Thank you.
And a correction, Frank Sinkowitz, who died early today at his home in Athens, was 70 degrees. Jim?
No, as you can see, I do have a UK problem. I watch all of their news. Look, when you hear that the prince is being arrested, but here we go. I did not know that she had a song. Now, this is an older one, obviously filmed on a potato, but singing Pearl? It's Thursday. Why not?
Hello. We're here today to learn how to give your opossum a proper pedicure. Once again, we have a senior opossum helping us with a demonstration. You know, a life fully lived is going to show on the feet, as well as the hoary face. Oh, that's H-O-A.
Did she just say hoary face? I don't know, but I'm going to use it in a sentence now. She has what we like to call a hoary face. Yes, I will. I will use that in a sentence today. Yes, I will.
A-R-Y. I would never make a moral judgment on an opossum, and neither should you.
Step 1, get yourself an opossum. Step 2, go a little in.
Who did this? This is great. Someone did the Pearl song, and I am here for it.
Sane. Step 3, put your opossum in water. Step 4, snort some more cocaine. At this point, you might want to make sure your possum doesn't take its own life. That's what I'd do if I were him, but until then. Step 5, dry off your opossum. Step 6, quell the voices in your head. Step 7,
I don't know who did this, but you just made my day.
your opossum a grape. Step 8, make sure the little guy's not dead inside because his pride is probably shot, which is what he'd do to you. If he could shoot, you'd probably not be able to do. Step 9, paint your possum's toenails. Step 10, film it all at your home. Step 11, text the crazy cat lady. Step 12, realize you're doomed to be alone, because even the cat lady down the street has standards and she won't be seen with you in public if you follow this advice. Good point, I think it's vital.
Even the cat lady won't talk to you. That was mean. That was a low blow. That was mean. I'm sure they have fun. They dress their respective creatures as Star Wars characters and have just a grand old time.
That we don't condone this action, so let's do a little remix and make this video twice.
We're here today to learn how to give your opossum a proper pedicure.
Step 1, leave opossums alone. Step 2, please remember step 1. Step 3, just stay away from opossums. Step 4, congratulations, you are done. And if life should get you down and you start to feel there's nothing to live for,
This demonstration.
just be glad you're not a possum getting a demeaning pedicure. Yeah.
Until next time.
This is the thing I never knew I always needed. I don't know that there will ever be a clip to match this. But this one does come close. My favorite "Just Say No to Drugs"
Have you
advert.
heard of crack or ice?
Yes!
Let me tell you how it changed Misty. Misty tried drugs her big sister left behind, cigarettes and pills, whatever she could find. She thought it made her cool to be going so far.
I didn't know Dr. Seuss did a Dare commercial. Also, what's this family into? They got a lot of prescriptions.
She wanted to be wild and crazy like a rock star. They offered to sell her crack, and she started using it. It was in control of her mind. She thought she had to have it no matter how sick it made her.
Yeah, because, a lot of 7 and 8-year-olds decide to go directly from, Flintstones chewable vitamins to hard crack cocaine. It was an epidemic. That's why they had to make this cartoon. I like that they made the bathroom extra skeezy by, having the drip marks from the ceiling. Details.
She would take drugs from anybody, and she took more and more crack, wanting it to make her feel wilder and wilder.
And then she died. Okay. Wow. The 90s were no
Someone
joke.
crazy on crack will not know what to do. If you're there, if you're scared, it's still up to you. Someone crazy on crack is in a bad way. Call 911. Call it soon, right away. Crack. It beats up your heart. Crack. It blows up your brain. Crack. It rips up your lungs. Crack. It burns out your veins.
Oh, the early, clip arts word. Wow. Also, again, was this so ubiquitous that we had to tell children about it? Again, I was very little in the 80s, but was this like so ubiquitous that, Aunt Sally may or may not, be on a little bit of the rock and we might need to know what happens to her?
She changed clothes, 4 times a day.
It isn't fun to buy new clothes if you're fat.
Did they predict influencer culture? Oh no, it's an e-thought.
You look terrible. Here, take this. It'll get you up.
She's a girl. Again, just like the people that keep sending, pure Canadian Viagra ads to my email. I don't need it. I appreciate your concern with both my length, girth, and endurance, but I'm fine with it. I really am.
It got her up all right, but she was so strung out she couldn't pay attention. The pill, called an amphetamine, made her body and mind work faster, but not as well.
She didn't have to worry about being fat anymore.
Wait a minute. So is the moral of the story that yes, it's bad, but she's not fat anymore? Because I feel like this is a mixed message here. Like, look, there are a lot of bad things, but try Ozempic. No, I'm just kidding. Don't come after me, Ozempic people.
Can you teach me that? Sure. It just takes
What in the
practice
green
and
screen?
know-how. I know how to get rid of this.
So what you gonna do when these drugs come your way? Amphetamine?
Zap that thing!
Crack and ice?
That's dangerous life!
What in the Miss Frizzle's Quaalude school bus is going on? Not to mention, yeah, half of you kids are on Adderall right now. What the hell?
It'll put you in the major leagues. Major.
Okay, well, that is a no, we're not doing that right now. No, go off the screen, you dingleberry. One day I shall be, in fact, a professional. I don't know when that day will be, so I don't know when to tell you to mark your calendars. But we have a pretty full day today, so we will be starting at 10 with the speed run of the Faust trial, and then we will be taking a little bit of a break, and then coming back at 2:30 to finish up. Perhaps I'm hoping if we can do perhaps day 2 into day 3 today, and get more stuff going. But that is the plan for today. And then hopefully we will get that. And then tomorrow, as always, is, well, weekly wrap up with Shizzy for, that. Oh, sentencing is at 10? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, then I guess we'll be watching that. We might never get the speed run done. We shall attempt to make at least a valiant effort for the rest of this week because we do have the Corey Richins case coming up. And as much as I want to keep up with this trial, we do have some hearings that we probably need to watch for that one. Because there have been some final moment or at the last minute motions by the defense that might change things. So we will attempt to get this done this week. If it happens, I do not know. We might do a marathon on Saturday. I haven't decided yet. So we will play it. Excuse me. Apparently I'm going through puberty. We will play it by ear. So I will see you guys in a little bit. I do have an invite out to Nick, so he is welcome to join both streams. And I do have you guys set up to be ported over there. But that is all for Mornings with Mo. I hope you've enjoyed it. I have. And if you want to know more about any of the headlines that I kind of touched on, do go to, your favorite content creators that are wiser than me. Usually local creators near that place that will give you maybe a little bit more in-depth insight into what's going on in the world. I don't care what you think. I just care that you think. Remember, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but have a sassy mouth and carry a can of bitch fire because kindness doesn't equal doormat. Bye, you guys.